Hello, boys and girls. It's good to be back again, eh? I can't keep up with what's going on in the world. I mean, we're going to get into it in a minute. Oh, should we just cue titles? Oh, look, I've got them already. I've already gone off track anyway. Let's have a look. Cue titles.
We'd like to say that, in our opinion, it is not suitable for children or for those of you who may have a nervous disposition.
Hello, Mr. Garnett. Hello. I'm just saying to Marigold...
Hey, let's have the Marigold. It's Winston, if you don't mind. All right? Gongadin. Bloody immigrants.
Where have you been?
I'm sorry I couldn't make it this morning, Buana, but I had to go to Heathrow, meet my cousin.
Oh, bloody marvellous. They're flying them in now. What's the hurry? Couldn't you get on the banana boat?
He's fixed himself up with a job. I had to go and meet him, show him his dig.
Oh, blimey, 4 million unemployed. They're flying his cousin in.
Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
There you go. And look at that. I'm just saying. I took that picture 10:15, as you can see, and we'll let it play. That's just reflection off my window, by the way. And then that was 10:35. We got a lot to get through today. I got my notes, I got my order, and then we go into digital banking. I've done all my notes, done all the research. It's shocking, but not shocking at the same time, because that's what I expect. So shall we just go over some of this immigration stuff? And it's still going on in the UK, isn't it? So shall we have a look at something Maggie Thatcher said over 30 years ago? There's 2 of them, by the way.
Those who are genuine refugees, and that is determined again by the United Nations, will not be returned. Those who are illegal immigrants, will be returned. And it is customary international law for countries to receive their own immigrants back into their country. And if he is, right honourable gentleman is suggesting that we ever get to a position when you cannot return illegal immigrants to their country of origin, then he is proposing international chaos.
Do you want another one from her? That makes total sense.
We're more highly populated than either India or Pakistan. We've 6% unemployment. We cannot go on taking people at the rate we have been.
One more question. Does that mean that heads of families who've been admitted here on the understanding and with at present the right to bring their children here may have that right withdrawn?
We want to know how many dependents have the right to come here. If it were 500,000, we just couldn't take them. That's what we're trying to do now. How many are entitled to come? That was why Mr. Whitelaw said get a register of dependents. That's why there's an independent all-party committee sitting on it now. First, find the facts. Then, in fact, you can decide what you'll do about them.
Okay, so let's just think about that one, shall we? 500,000. There's 1.3 million now, and they're still coming in. And she was talking about 500,000 would be too much. She had her faults, and we discussed this the other week, didn't we, with her selling off a lot of the assets in the UK. But she's right on that one, 100% right. I'm not going to dwell on that one no more. I've got to find the little button. Other news, what's been going on? Let's have a look at this. Christ, what a wine. I'm sorry. Get the tambourine out. That's not fucking singing. Fucking whining. Going on. I'm in Gazza's bar. Get the tambourine. Oh, God. People are conned by this fucking shit group. Wonderwall was all right. Yeah, don't look back in anger. The rest is shit. And if you ever look at any of the clips from people, you go to their concert, it's boring. And his brother's just going, as if he's never played the guitar before. And he's like, where are the chords? What am I doing? Well, let's keep it nice and slow and ding, ding. Fuck off. Right. Cashless society. Oh, before I get to that, Donald Trumpity Trump. This is where I can't keep up. So you got Donald Trump as all this digital stuff. We'll get to that. But Donald Trump now was protesting. He needed this list out. Now the list has come forward, as we know, and then his deputy secretary says, yes, well, I've got the list on my table. Oh, no, I haven't. It was a file. Now I don't have the file on my desk, and there never was a list. Yeah, government's not working for us, eh? And then on the other hand, oh God, that Keir Starmer, just hearing that rhyme makes me feel fucking sick inside. He's now letting the 16 and 17-year-olds have the vote, but they can't get married without the consent of their parents. They can't go to an over-18 film. They can't even go on a sunbed unless they're over 18. They're not allowed to stand for Parliament until they're over 18. But he wants, and he's going to give them the vote. Yeah, we know what that's. That's what they call vote rigging, isn't it? But I don't think the youngsters are stupid enough to fall for that fucking wanker. Oh, well, there's the algorithm now going to cut me off again from YouTube. I do this all live, you know, and then I don't edit any of this for you who are new. I just cut from one to the other, but this does not stop. So 2 weeks ago, I dropped some beer on my radiator and fused all the lights, didn't I? Yeah, and I kept going. Christ, cashless. Brogan, he's a bit of a knob because he gets things wrong, but have a listen to this. I've done the research. Oh, I ain't pressed the button. See, it's all live. This saves me editing later on, basically.
Do you know that going completely cashless could cost us more than we think? Imagine a $50 bill. You pay someone, they spend it at a cafe, the cafe pays a supplier, that $50 keeps its full value. But with digital payments, every transaction loses around 3% in fees. After many transactions, most of that $50 ends up with the banks not in your community. That's why cash still matters. Think before giving it up.
So, £10 note. Simple terms. £10. I buy a camera off the guy. He's then got my £10. My £10's floating out there somewhere. And then he buys something and then he swaps something for something else in terms of paper money. And it goes round and round. And then I put a mark in the corner. And then in 100 transactions, I sell him back that camera and I get my £10 back. And it's still worth £10. Digital, if we just went right down to just 0.5% per transaction, 100 transactions later, it isn't even money now, it's just something on your phone, and you go blip, blip, and someone else goes blip, 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 blip. 100 times, it's now owned by the state. It's no longer our money, it's theirs. You get it? Right, so under digital passports, so there's a lot of things going on underneath here. So at the moment with all these illegal immigrants, I can guarantee 100% there's going to be a massive protest or there's going to be some form of riots. I don't condone any of that stuff, but there will be at some point a flashpoint where the government will step in and say we now need digital passports because we need to know where all these illegal people are and all of you. So that would be step one, a digital passport. Now, I don't know if you had it in the UK. I had that in COVID here. That tyrant, that bitch, that woman that ruined businesses and lives through unnecessary lockdowns, not saying we didn't need lockdowns, but she then didn't give us a choice. This communist bitch, Jacinda Ardern, right? She made us on our phone have a digital passport. I couldn't go anywhere except the supermarket and back if I didn't have that digital passport. I couldn't go to a bar. I couldn't go to a gym. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't get my hair cut. You get the picture. I literally had to scan in when I walked anywhere. It's evil. It's fucking evil. And guess who's fucking pushing this one in the UK? Fucking evil cunt he is. Sorry, I'm getting wound up now. Come on, fucking play. Oh, there we go. I'll calm. I'm gonna have a beer.
I also think this issue to do with the technology and the digital infrastructure, I just want to emphasize how important I think that is. Because in the end, you need the data. You need to know who's been vaccinated and who hasn't been. Some of the vaccines that will come on down the line will be multiple there'll be multiple shots. So you've got to have, for reasons to do with the healthcare more generally, but certainly for a pandemic or for vaccines, you've got to have a proper digital infrastructure, and many countries don't have that. In fact, most countries don't have that.
Do you get that? He's nervous about even talking about it because he knows where he's going in his head with this. So if you look at digital passports and then you look at digital money, I'll get to the digital money in a minute and I'll just read out the notes. If you think about it, they've got 15-minute zones already in place in Leeds. They've already been looking into it. They've also in supermarkets got face recognition now. Look at the trials they did in London where face recognition, the police were out with all the cameras. And one guy said, I did not want to be filmed. And they arrested him because he had a scarf over his face. Because they said, oh, maybe you're up to no good. He just did not want to be fucking filmed. Your face, you know you don't own that. Like film stars have been having a big hoo-ha about this, all AI and that at the moment. Because you don't own your face. So imagine if the government knows literally where you are at all times through a passport. It's a tag. It's like a dog collar, but it's digital. And that fucking cunt is fucking... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm swearing again. I vowed I wasn't going to swear. So let's get into it, shall we? Glasses time. I've got a ring light today. So what is digital banking? Oh, I'll have another beer. Can we have some nice gentle background music, Les? Or pub music would be nice. We're in a pub. Thank you. So, I'm just going to read a little bit about it rather than me going off in a tantrum. Then when I look back at it, I go, oh, I missed that out. The phrase central digital banking, no cash, generally refers to a financial system where a central bank, like the Federal Reserve or the Bank of England or the European Central Bank, issues digital currency instead of traditional paper cash. Here's a breakdown of what that means. Central digital banking, here we go. I hate all these abbreviations. I hate abbreviations because that sort of detracts from what it actually is. The typical refers to a central digital bank currency, CBDCs, digital versions of national currency, e.g. digital pound, dollar, euro, etc., controlled and issued by a central bank. Les. No cash. Physical cash, coins, banknotes, in any phrase, or we don't know, we know all that. But I don't get the CBDCs. CBDCs, why don't they call it what it is, central bank digital currency? Then we know what we're talking about, because a lot of people, especially older people, like us, me anyway, I'm over 60, I'm 62. What it means in practice, you use digital money only, stored in apps or accounts, tied to central banks or authorised institutions. Think about that little phrase, authorised institutions. No need for a wallet or ATM. I love bloody wallets and ATMs. Everything from buying coffee to paying your rent happens electronically. Government can track all transactions, all. Increasing transparency, but raising concerns about privacy. I got Parkinson's, I'm actually shaking, I'm so angry. No bank runs, whoop, whoop, whoop. When have we had a fucking bank run? Where everyone wants their money. They ain't got the money anyway, they haven't got the money. Did you know HSBC lends out 10 times more money than it actually owns in assets? That's how fucked we are. Now, it's true, do your research. So, less use of commercial banks. So yeah, they want to get rid of commercial banks. I like the little corner shop bank, Bank of Dave. Have a look at his. They'll get rid of him. Bank of Dave, the film. Bank of Dave 2 as well. That's even more shocking about loan sharks from America that the government allowed in. In some models, people might hold digital currency using with a central bank. Yeah, well, we know all that. Right, anyway, here we go. Pros. Easier and faster payments. I don't get that. I've got my card. I've got no, that's my liquor store. I've got a chip on it. I have a system here where I can pay wave, or I can just go online and pay. I don't get how that's easier and faster. I'm instantly, bang, Team U, here we go, arriving. Now, with this, all right, this is an agreement between me and my local bank, BNZ, Bank of New Zealand, which is actually owned by an American family. Funny, eh? Now, oh, it stopped. So, you can see I'm live. So with this card, I do a transaction. The bank either okays it or not digitally straight away, because there's an algorithm that's looking after everything now, isn't it? Now, point of fact is, the bank knows where I've spent the money, I know where I've spent the money, and then at the end of the month, I get a bank statement. Under central banking, the government will know everything that you do. Privacy laws. So it says, reduce tax evaders. Fuck off. Do you know, all they're gonna do, when I sell this camera again, right, they'll see that as an income. I've already paid tax on buying it. I've paid tax on fucking working. You got GST on it, or VAT in the UK, and then I get taxed by selling the bloody thing and then buying. Oh, you get what I'm saying? They will not do that for. So, with tax, I know what's going to happen. So, accountants are fucked. We know that, especially with the new algorithms coming out and stuff. You can just put in your details and it will do your accounts and then submit all of that paperwork to the tax man. And you save yourself $500-600 from a tax man who might not actually do his job properly, especially with me who's self-employed. I've been through a few accountants who are fucking useless. My wife doesn't know. She's far better at it and she's not qualified. Not that you need to be qualified to do that shit these days, eh? Now, point being, what will happen one day, once you get central banking, the government will assign an AI to you, thousands of others to you, and it will literally go through your account every month, see your ingoings and your outgoings, and you'll get a tax bill. And it won't be a yearly one because it's going to be more, right? So you're going to end up having a monthly tax bill and you'll just accept it. It's just another bill. I remember, like, when we had our electric bills, it was quarterly, 40 odd quid. But because it crept up so quick, they dropped it down to monthly. And now your monthly electric bill would have been £40 a month, and it's gone up triple. We know that, it's gone up 4 times. So that's how they get round it. So you'll get a monthly tax bill. And it won't be less. It'd be a new one for you to actually fucking go back and bloody complain to, because it's an algorithm. So no loss of cash, whoopee bloody do. So, cons. This is the important bit, loss of privacy. This is all government, remember? Loss of your personal privacy. Total surveillance possible. Now, let's just have a quick look on that. Do you think for 1 minute that the government wouldn't spy on you if they didn't want to? Look at the Tommy Robinsons of the world. They find it hard enough to keep him shut up. They'd shut him up under digital banking and surveillance, eh? Total surveillance possible on you as a human being. Are you getting, I brought into this world a little bald 8-pound baby. Apart from my parents, I was an individual. It just seems we're being lost as individuals and we're now just a collective commodity tax. And it is. Look at all these billionaires. They talk about, do you think all these fucking, when it comes to the tax thing, do you think they'd be paying more tax under this system? No, you and I would be paying more tax. They won't. Fuck. And then the other one, risk of control freeze by the state. There you go. Guess who is at top of the list for doing this at the moment? Have a guess. Because, you know, we don't like communists, do they? Because they're all controlled, state controlled. Yeah, China. So we are now following a communist ideology from China who treat their people really badly. Just think about it. Risk of control, freeze, that's freeze your assets, anything, by the state. So if they don't like what you're doing, they can press a button. They did it to Nigel Farage, if you remember, in a different way. Froze all his bank. That's massive. That is absolutely massive. So as I say, the main banks Sweden's given it a go. The United States, the status is exploring. It's at the exploring phase. Federal Reserve is studying it, as is the Bank of England. Now, don't get confused with the Bank of England, who just came out, I'm trying to find it, who came out a few weeks ago and said, we are not considering digital banking. We still like cash. Cash is king. Did you know they've just set up an internal body at the Bank of England, how they can switch us all over to digital money? So they said publicly that they will continue with cash, but underneath, they're getting ready to get you, once you've got your passport, your digital tag, they will then go total digital currency, 100%. Your tax will go up, everything will go up, and you will be under control. And do you know why you'll be under control? Because there will be zones, them 15-minute zones I told you about, they've already got in Leeds, right? Do your research. They've got these zones. You won't be able to spend your money outside your zone if they don't want you to. What happens next? Oh, you've had a lot, your carbon footprint, because they will know literally everything you do and everything you buy. And then there'd be the carbon tax, and there'd be this tax and that tax. You can't go out today because you've bloody had too much air. You know what I'm saying? You've got to be careful. You've got to stop this. So I looked here, it says, I'll just go over the last bit. It goes constantly over protected by process legislation, public consultation with blah blah. I mean, this is all fucking nonsense. It just goes on and on and on. Right, so what does this mean to the UK? No cash shift yet. Yet, that's what it says. The UK is currently not phasing out physically. Currently, just all these little words. Digital pound, if launched, when launched, will provide an additional payment option, not replace cash or bank deposits. Any rollout would come out of extensive design, legislation and protections when they're in place. Protecting who? Because we've noticed, and since I'm now 62 and I've watched this political system in the UK and now here just fall apart. You vote one in, you vote another, you vote one in, you vote another. I've voted Conservatives and I've voted Labour, here National and Labour, right? And they're all fucking useless. It's got worse since Maggie Thatcher. That's where I remember. I do remember as a little kid in the 70s, yes, we did have all them strikes. I do believe the unions went way too far the wrong way. But Maggie Thatcher came in, broke the unions and fucked us all over. And that's where I came in, for me, watching politically all this stuff just slowly eroding. And the next thing that's going to be eroded, which has already been eroded in the UK, is free speech. You do not have free speech. You know you don't have free speech anymore because you can do a tweet and go to prison for it. Now they're bringing in Islamic phobia law. So they're going to deem you, if you say, I don't like all these Muslims in my town, look at them. You know, why are they all here? Send them home. That's hate speech, prison. Islamic phobia. And it's coming in. Starmer's bringing that law in that you will not be able to talk about Muslims in a negative light. Now, it could be Muslims, it could, but this is one particular legislation he's bringing in. Now, if you stop free speech, and you might deem you as... So what if you're living in a street and your daughter's been raped? And that's happened. Them riots the other day and a Guardian left out that part, just all these white fascists. So fucking rioting weren't true, right? They were right, not rioting, they were protesting because one of the girls had been raped by a guy who'd already raped some girls before, and he is a Pakistani illegal immigrant living in one of the hotels and he's a Muslim. If I mention that when the legislation's gone through, guess what happens? Hate speech. You're not allowed to talk about the problem. And it is a problem, isn't it? When you're not allowed to talk about a problem, it just gets shoved underground, but it doesn't go away. Governments. I think the governments are just doing this. They're gonna cause a massive problem where they'll suddenly go, we need digital passports. We need to keep an eye on stuff. Put you in fear. And you'll go along with it. Oh yeah, we don't know who all these people are. Right, let's move on. Just leave a comment below if you can, or if you're allowed. I'm just going to go, Nigel Farage picked up on this. I did this before Nigel Farage, by the way. Just bear with me, eh? I'm ahead of the time, you know.
20,000 is not enough. 30,000 is not enough.
77% of the population say we cannot take immigration at current levels.
We must keep going until the saturation point.
I'm sorry. We simply can't accept countless millions.
What does it matter if we have to wait another week for a hospital visit?
Current accident and emergency crisis that we've seen this winter in our hospitals.
Or if our class sizes are slightly bigger.
The impact on schools.
Or if our city is slightly fuller.
The fact that we have to build one new dwelling every 7 minutes.
Sorry, Nigel. I was ahead of you on that one. I picked up on this. Maybe he watches my new show. No, he doesn't. Don't be daft. So I'm going to have a listen to lovely Sarah now. So rather than me rambling on, let's see what Sarah's got to say about it, shall we? Come on, Sarah, hurry up. Oh, this beer. Thirsty work, you know. Here we go.
I just want to take the opportunity to remind everybody what country we're living in. We're living in Britain. Britain, which is the mother of freedom. That's what this country has always been known for. It's what this country laid the foundation of its beliefs on: freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of everything. So why in 2025 do we have ex-Tory attorney generals like Dominic Grieve talking about how we're going to start defining Islamophobia? Why do we even need to define Islamophobia? Because I think we can all see what road this is going down. Start defining what Islamophobia is. Next thing you know, people who are accused of Islamophobia, they are going to find themselves in a pretty rotten position. And that's anyone who criticises the religion. Dominic Grieve has said that Muslims are people who are being subjected to a lot of hatred and abuse in society at this time. Everybody in society is subjected to hatred at this time. You get Jews who are subjected to hatred. You get Christians who are subjected to hatred. You can be subjected to hatred based on the colour of your skin. Do you know that on one of my recent Facebook posts where I put up a video talking about the growing gang scandal, do you know how much racial hatred I received from Pakistani Muslim men who were telling me that I didn't even belong in Britain and that I should go back to Africa? Not sure how I can go back to Africa when I'm not African. I've never even been to Africa, but this is the mentality of some people. So why is it that one group of people is having a phobia of them being reviewed and all the other groups of people who also struggle with hate speech are not? People like Dominic Grieve need to remember what country we are in. We are not in a country which has Sharia law. We are not in a country which punishes you if you say anything about somebody's religion. That's not the way we do things in Britain. The greatest abuse that is being committed to Britain today is the way that the people of this country are having freedom of speech and freedom of expression stifled, threatened, because if they say anything that certain groups don't like, they are then threatened with punishment. Well, do you know what I think? I think that the truth matters far more than whatever they can throw at us. Criticising the nasty elements of a religion is not hate speech. Do you know, I have a friend who is from Pakistan originally, and this man cannot return to Pakistan because Muslims are calling for his blood. Because if he returns to Pakistan, he might never make it out alive again. And yet this country, which is supposed to be a bastion of free speech, is now what? Trying to define Islamophobia and force these types of restrictions and rules on our freedom of speech? People may hate you and they may even threaten you for exercising your freedom of speech. But you know what? It was the people in the past who gave us that honour, and it's one that we should use to show that we at least have not forgotten the sacrifices they made for future generations to say what they want to say without this type of thing being inflicted on them.
That's just one young lady, Sarah. She says it a lot better than me, eh? She's not had a drink either. What's going on? What is really going on? We should have white Britain phobia, because Muslims can put us down, can't they? And rape our kids, and then the governments protect them. I don't get it. I don't get it. We need a little light relief, Liz, eh? Why am I doing all the work today, Les? Les, by the way, for you newbies, is my next door neighbour. He comes in every now and then just to drink the beer now. I'm doing all the work.
I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball.
Get the sausage. You can't literally make this shit up. That made me laugh when I saw that. There's some very clever people out there. But again, there's no law saying you can't use our face for funnies. So that one is funny. Now, I'm going to introduce you into another young guy. So have a look at Sarah. She makes a lot of sense. This young guy, Jack, he drives his tractor and stuff for other people. He's travelled around a little bit. He's young, but he's bloody well pretty switched on. You have a look at him. He makes an awful...
like this.
He don't look like a dinosaur, does he? He's really good. I've got one more of his. The other Jack is a farmer. That's in next week's show. So let's have a look at the little kids. Kids that can...
Currently, we've got... It's a dinosaur, baby.
Jack McLean, find him out. He's actually really good. He's really good. I've just got on my list here, kids who get the votes. So we'll just see what I found out there, then we're going to go back and have a little light relief. No, not that light relief.
16 and 17-year-olds have the vote because...
Keir Starmer has completely lost control of his party. He can't control his rebellious backbench MPs. He's got the worst net approval rating of a Prime Minister 1 year in since records began. The Labour Party is tanking in the polls so badly, such that if there was a general election tomorrow, it is expected that Reform would get the greatest number of seats and completely steamroll Labour. What is Keir Starmer's solution? Let kids vote. Change the rules and cheat.
He's got to have very, 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 very thick skin. He's got to have skin as thick as a rhino's bum, eh? If he thinks he's actually doing... Who's he working for? Who is he... I don't mean we voted or you voted for him in. Who the fuck up there is pulling his strings? Because he just has so lost the plot. Now, Dobbs is her name. Source her out. So, Ben and Zara, I found them the other day. I'm just going to do a funny. He's obviously a choreographer and dancer or something, but you should look at his daughter. She is so cool, but she is like on the money. So we'll just play her before we finish with one more from Jack. Honestly, she's so cute. There's one when she was a little bit young and they did a Michael Jackson one where she actually did some dance, and you got to have a laugh as well. I mean, you got to have a laugh. That's why I like putting these things in. So the last one is Jack McLean. I can't remember what it was. Him again, you know, he's just a dinosaur baby. Shall we have a listen to him? Then I've got two jokes. One from Lynn and one from my South African friend. You have a good weekend, folks. Don't let them get to you.
Waking up to this world isn't easy. At first it feels like madness. You start to see through the TV. You notice the same headlines, the same distractions. You look around and you feel like everything's just a Truman Show. Like everyone's playing along in a script that you didn't agree to. Your friends start fading. Your circles shrink. Not because you've changed, but because you've stopped pretending. You don't want to poison yourself anymore. Not your body, not your soul. You know, you stop drinking, you stop socialising, you stop scrolling and swallowing the lies. And suddenly, you're the weird one. But you're not crazy. You're healing, you're remembering. You're shredding the layers that were never you. They were installed into you. This world teaches you to obey, to conform, to destroy yourself in exchange for approval. But when you wake up, you realise sacrifice isn't giving up pleasure, it's giving up this illusion. You return to earth, you feel the sun again, you tune into the voice of God that's always been inside you. You know, you stop looking back. So if you're losing people, feeling alone, misunderstood, I promise you, you're not falling apart, you're falling free. Free from this parasitic, elite-ridden system. This isn't the end of your sanity. It's the beginning of your connectivity to spirituality. Forget what they taught you. Follow what you feel. Because you're not just waking up, you're breaking free. And obviously, for the sensory reasons, this was just for entertainment. I love you all and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
Never mess with the nans. A car full of Irish nuns is waiting at a traffic light in Donegal when a car full of drunk fellas pulls up next to them. One of the lads out the window shouts out, "All right, sisters, do you fancy coming back to ours for a bit of fun?" The head nun gasps and turns to Sister Sumpter. "I don't think they realise who we are. Show them your cross." So she winds the window down and she goes, "What the effing hell do you think you're doing? Get off with ya, you little bastards." And then the nun winds the window back up and says, "Sister, was that cross enough for you?"
Hello, my South African friend. You got competition, so what's the joke?
Gary, this woman goes into a prison to visit her husband, and after the visit she's coming out, she says to the guard, "Can you please stop working my husband so hard? He's totally exhausted." And the guard says, "Madam, all he does is he's in his cell He sleeps all day, comes out, he eats, he goes back to his cell. She goes, oh, he's just told me he spent months tunneling.
Could be wrong. I could be right.
Oh, God, blimey.